Hi there, business owner. Do you want a better understanding of business finance, what your numbers actually mean, and stories of the highs and lows of business, where I'll be sharing my tips and tricks every week? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to the 3Bs podcast with Stephanie. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast with Stephanie. I'm your host, Stephanie, and I'd love to know how you're all getting on this week. How has the last 7 days been for you? Are you like me and navigating a new school run timetable now the children are back at school? Are you trying to get that routine back down? I feel like we're still struggling. We're still kind of finding our way. Our pickup times have changed, our schools have changed, and everything's just still kind of settling, and I'd really hoped I'd be hitting the ground running right now. But let me know if you're the same. Do let me know if you are a woman in business or a parent in business and you're still kind of feeling almost jet lagged from the summer holidays. The routine's just not quite there yet, so I don't feel so alone. This week, I wanted to cover a topic that is absolutely essential to all business owners to think about. It really is at the heart of every business, whether people realise it or not, and that is customer relationship management. Now, customer relationship management is often shortened to CRM and is used in many different contexts. The way that I'm going to use, the context I'm going to use this week's episode is why customer relationships are important, the customer journey that you take your business customers on or clients on, and how nurturing those relationships are not just important but crucial to the success of your existing business if you really want to grow and scale. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the episode. So customer relationships matter. That is an absolute fact, and that is the one thing I really want you to take from today. Whether you are somebody who works like myself as an accountant or a bookkeeper on a regular recurring basis, or whether you own a retail store that sells clothing, for example, or if you are somebody that provides even a one-off service, then the relationships you have with your customers are still vital to the success of your business. And I want to establish why they matter. Did you know that on average, it costs 5 times more to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one? That's quite a big figure. And I feel that it's much easier to cross-sell or upsell to existing customers because they're already in your world, they already understand you, they already get your business, and if they've already purchased from you, they already have experience with that transaction of exchanging money for the service or the product that you are providing. Now, you may wonder why customer relationship management is so important if you provide a one-off service or a one-off product for your customers or clients. But if they've had a good relationship with you and you've managed that relationship well with the customer or the client, they are much more likely to recommend you to other people, which will then help you to provide more services or sell more products and grow your business. Equally, if your customer relationship management is not made a priority, there is a saying that if a customer has a bad experience with yourself, they'll tell 10 people, and if you've had a good experience, they will tell 1. So the damage to the business's reputation and to yourself can be much greater if a client has had a bad experience than if a client has had a good experience, if they're in equal numbers. So it's really important to look at your customer relationship and manage those customer relationships no matter how often they purchase from you. I wanted to share a compelling statistic with you just to really enforce why this is so important. So businesses that prioritise building strong customer relationships experience a 25% increase in customer retention rates. And that means that they buy from your business again and again and again. And that can lead to a 65% increase in profits. So by looking after the customers you have, you can increase your profits by 65%. So let's look at how we can effectively manage the customer relationships in your business. Now, the first step to effectively managing your customer relationships is to look at the customer journey you currently have within your business. I will probably cover the customer journey in a future episode in more detail, but for now, get a piece of paper or the notes app on your phone or a blank document on the computer, however you best do this, and document your current customer journey. It can be done in a flowchart, it can be bullet pointed, it can be however you do this best. I like to get a really large piece of paper, roll it out. I get like a roll of paper, roll it out on the floor, and literally draw all along as a flowchart across the floor. People, when they walk past the office, do look at me sometimes when I'm on my hands and knees on the floor, but that is the way I find best works for me. And that's going all the way from when they first enter my world. So it could be that they've seen a social media post that we've put out. It could be that they've been on the ABCS UK website. It could be that they've met me in person at a networking event, or they've passed the office. We have an open door policy. So it can be any of those things. And for each one of those things, I need to follow through the customer journey of what the touch points are when I make contact with them. That could be future social media posts. That could be reaching out in the DMs. That could be having them on my email newsletter list. It could be that I am picking up the phone. It could be that they're listening to this podcast. So all of these different ways they can enter my world, and there's all these different journeys that they could go on, and I need to ensure that I am documenting every single step of that to make sure there's no gaps, or there is potentially other strategies or things I can implement into that customer journey to really help boost the relationship management that I have with my customers. So once you've got that all written down or documented however you best work, have a look at that customer journey and see if there's any obvious gaps where you could potentially put things in place to boost that customer relationship. Now that could be if you have an email newsletter list, do you have a nurture sequence? So that can be an automated 3 to 5 email nurture sequence that goes out every 24 hours when someone signs up to the newsletter, to really allow them to get to know you and your business and what you're about. You don't want people on your newsletter list just for a vanity metric. You want people on your newsletter list who want to hear from you, want to hear from your business, and ultimately want to buy from you. So that's one way to look at the different strategies, but here's a few more that you could potentially implement into your existing customer journey or change for something that is currently in your customer journey. First up is personalization. Now, I have a network marketing background and I've worked with a lot of network marketing business owners. So the copy and paste message really makes me angry. I mean, now I'm getting a lot of the emails that are copied and pasted, and they've not even changed the name at the top of them, and it just goes straight into the delete. Like, I'm not even going to look at it. So if I'm not going to look at it, then your ideal client's probably not going to look at it either. Don't copy and paste messages. Use personalization. Use their name. Get to know your clients and customers. If they've bought a particular product from you, it's always good if you're going to reach out to them to say, I know you bought X product or Y product. I just wanted to see how you were getting on with it. Or I can see that you bought this product on this day. Did you know that this works really well with it and this is now available? That's a good way to really personalize that outreach, personalize the customer journey for that particular person, and also be aware that there's multiple customer journeys. People will find you in different places and will enter your world at different stages. So use their name, use their preferences. The power of personalization is that feeling. I don't know if you've ever walked into a hotel or a restaurant. Maybe it's your favourite, even just a local. If you go down to the pub on a Friday evening and the person behind the bar says, oh, hello, by your name and remembers your drink, or asks if you want your usual, that personalization really makes the customer feel really good. It makes you feel really good. Like, oh, I know, they know who I am. It's brilliant. That's positive customer relationship management. Now, you may not have a product, you may have a service-based business. So what we do here at ABCS UK is we get to know our clients. Like, we call it the family because they really do join the ABCS UK family. We get to know them all as people as well as business owners. And one of the first questions we ask when we onboard clients is, what is your favourite drink? And it's something really simple, but if a client comes in to us for a meeting, we make sure they have their favourite drink. I have a client who has a particular black coffee. I have a client who has a very particular Red Bull that they drink. It's a certain variety. So we always make sure that when their meetings are coming up, that we've got them in the office for them. It's dietary preferences. We like to send little gifts at Christmas to our clients. I like to ensure I know if anyone has a dairy or a wheat intolerance or an allergy, so that I can send things that are relevant to them. And that level of personalisation, I think, is really important. That's my rant and my soapbox for the day. Please don't copy and paste. Another strategy that's really good is clear and responsive communication. Now, this is something that I feel 99% of businesses could be better at, and that is clear and concise communication. We don't need the waffle. We don't need the ghosting either. Like, either side of that's not great. Communication is incredibly important to me. It's in my company name. It's one of our company values. Excellent communication is paramount to building customer relationships. If your customer has a question or a concern and your business responds promptly and with a solution, it can make all the difference. One of the biggest lessons I learned in the first couple of years of owning a business was that it was okay to say, I don't know, but I'm going to go and find out. Or I think I know the answer, but I'm just going to go and check. And then go back to them. Like, they don't necessarily want an immediate answer. And you're not going to know everything, and that's also okay. So it's, even if you're going back to them and saying, I'm not 100% sure, let me double check this and get back to you. And get back to them promptly. It doesn't have to be instant. You don't have to be glued to your emails every minute of every day. If somebody sends you a question at 8 p.m. on a Sunday evening and you work during Monday to Friday, that can wait till Monday. I'm not saying you have to reply instantly, but it does need to be promptly, and the boundaries need to be clear with your customers and clients from the beginning, that this is when we reply to your messages, this is when we will help you. If it's urgent, then this is the procedure that you need to follow. Setting those boundaries can also ensure the customer knows what to expect and the client knows what to expect, which reduces any frustrations or if they feel that their communication is not quick enough, for example. And that brings us to the end of another week of the 3Bs podcast with Stephanie. Thank you so much for listening. I'd really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, rate and review this podcast wherever you are listening to it, so that I can reach more business owners and help them build better businesses. See you next week for the next episode. And finally, this strategy should be implemented in every business, and that is that feedback is gold. You should be asking for feedback via surveys or reviews or testimonials. You can mix some of these strategies together. So you could personalize a client and ask them what they thought of a particular product they purchased from you. That works really well. And when you do ask for feedback, make sure they're open questions, not a yes or no or it's great, because that response is not valuable to you or them, really. It needs to be an open question of, tell me a time, or what could we do better, or encourage them to elaborate, because the feedback that you get from those customers and clients enables you to implement changes and tweaks to the way you work, which enables customers to feel not only listened to, but receive better service or better relationship management going forward. It enables them to give their opinion. It shows that you value their opinion and what they've got to say, and it gives you the insight so you can enhance your products or services. So it's really sort of twofold. It's really important to collect feedback from your existing clients. If you are service-based and you're collecting testimonials, they're also great to show other potential customers and clients the type of service and transformation that current clients or customers are receiving. If it's a clothing retailer, photographs of customers wearing clothes are also great social proof that can be used.